Hey guys, it's Squishy Boba Forever, and today I'm going to show you how to make these two ramen squishies. Of course, you can make whatever ramen you want, but I chose these two brands because they're my favorite. So first you want to start off with a piece of memory foam. The size depends on how big you want your squishy to be. And then I'm tracing a circle using a paper cup. Next, I'm going to cut around the circle I just drew, and you want to cut in a slightly diagonal angle so that it forms kind of like a cup shape and it's not just a cylinder. My friend bought me this duster to sweep up my foam, so a big shout out to her. So this is how my squishy looks now. Then I'm drawing another circle, and I freehanded it this time because I didn't have an object to trace. And you want to cut that out. Don't worry about making this part smooth because you actually want it to be bumpy. The bumpiness will add texture to the noodles. I decided to go in with a few more snips to add to the bumpiness. I'm painting my squishy with white puffy paint, and the brand I'm using is Tulip. You can also try making your own puffy paint by mixing a little bit of acrylic paint with white glue. I actually tested that on my channel and it does work well, but it does harden after a month. So I highly recommend using puffy paint because it stays soft for a really long time. So I painted about 3 layers of white paint to cover up all the holes. It also makes your squishy more slow rising when you put more layers. Next, I'm going to paint the noodles a pastel yellow color. I mixed white puffy paint with a teeny tiny drop of yellow paint. And I don't recommend you mix the paint directly on the squishy like I did. Next, I'm going to create more noodles using puffy paint. And because puffy paint is puffy or 3D, you can just drizzle it on and it looks like noodles. I realized that the paint was a little too yellow for this, so I coated it with another layer of pastel yellow. I actually ended up drawing more noodles off camera, except I colored it with a tannish color. Next, I'm using Fabric Fusion to create a soup base. So what I did was I mixed a little bit of orange, yellow, and brown paint with Fabric Fusion. Fabric Fusion is basically clear glue, except it's a little bit more tacky. So you can do the same thing with regular clear glue. I was expecting my fake soup to look clear, but it didn't because I added puffy paint. So to blend in this fake soup better with the noodles, I mixed a little bit of water and that helped dilute it. Then I cut out tiny toppings, and I didn't show how I cut them, but they're pretty self-explanatory. I'm using this plastic container to place my paint, and I like it because I could just peel the paint right off after it dries. Next, I'm putting the toppings on top of my noodles, and yes, those are toothpicks, not chopsticks, but I'm using them like chopsticks. You can also use your hands or tweezers to put the toppings on, but I didn't want to get paint on my hands. So this is how the top looks, and as you can see, I did draw on extra noodles off camera. The final step is to draw the logo, and I'm not the greatest artist, so it's not proportional at all, but at least it turned out legible. I didn't show the entire painting process because it's really hard to control my motor skills while having a camera in between my arms. here's the final squishy. And as you can see, I drew the logo 2 times, one for the front and the back, but this side is so much better because I did it off camera. You can actually see the face on this side. The next ramen I'm making is called Shin Ramyeon. So for this one, I already have it cut out because it's the same step as I showed earlier. Again, you want to paint 3 coats of paint. The cup is white at the top, so that's why I'm painting it white and not red. By the way, if you want to dry this faster, then you can use a hairdryer or place your squishy next to a fan. Just like the other squishy, I painted the noodles with a pastel yellow color. And this time the noodle has a spicy base soup, so I mixed a little bit of red and orange puppy paint with the Fabric Fusion. This time, instead of drizzling the noodles with puffy paint out of the nozzle, I mixed my own color and I drew it with a toothpick. Sorry, I didn't show myself painting any of the details because it was just too tedious and I didn't want the camera in the way. The top part of this kind of looks like a pizza. I actually had Shin Ramyeon in my house, so here's a comparison. On the back side, I added a simplified nutrition label. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial. I have nothing else to say, so I'm just going to leave you guys here to watch the rest of the clips in silence. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!